And tonight, new allegations against her adoptive mother, Mia Farrow. And tonight, many of Farrow's other children are defending their mother.
For decades, she kept her darkest truths buried. Mia Farrow has been famous for almost 80 years, but most people still don't know her real story. Now, at 79, she's breaking her silence. In an open interview, she reveals the heartbreaks, triumphs, and defining moments of her extraordinary journey. What has she been holding back all these years? And how will her honesty reshape the way the world remembers her? Join us as we uncover the untold story of Mia Farrow's life. A shattered world revealed. Mia Farrow held on to a devastating secret for decades. In January 1992, she went to Woody Allen's apartment where she discovered disturbing photographs. But that was just the beginning. What came next was worse. Accusations of mistreatment, family trauma, and betrayal that shook her world apart. After years of silence, Farrow is now speaking out about Allen, whom she calls the biggest mistake of her life, and sharing the painful truth she's carried all this time. Mia Farrow was born into Hollywood royalty on February 9, 1945. Her dad, John Farrow, directed films, and her mom, Maureen O'Sullivan, was famous for playing Jane in the Tarzan movies. Their Beverly Hills home was a hotspot for movie stars, and even her godparents were Hollywood big shots, film director George Cukor and gossip writer Luella Parsons. From day one, Mia was right in the middle of show business. Though Mia was one of 7 siblings in their well-to-do family, her childhood wasn't the fairy tale it might have seemed from the outside, as growing up in Hollywood exposed her to both the dazzling world of fame and its darker undercurrents. While she was surrounded by success and glamour, what Mia craved most was genuine connection and understanding, a yearning that would follow her into her adult years as she continued searching for real, lasting love. After keeping quiet for years, Mia is finally opening up about the man who hurt her most deeply. Woody Allen has been a major force in movies since the 1960s. Originally named Alan Stewart Konigsberg, he made his mark as a director, writer, and actor, becoming one of Hollywood's most awarded filmmakers.
Woody Allen is one of the most prominent American film directors and writers. He's made a film every year for about 4 decades.
His movies, which often capture life in New York City, have earned him multiple Oscars and worldwide recognition, though his legacy has become complicated by personal controversies. Her story, long kept in the shadows, is now coming to light, and it's a revelation that will leave the world seeing Mia Farrow in an entirely new way. A star's early struggles. From a young age, Mia Farrow was drawn to the stage, putting on spooky little shows for tourists passing by her house, complete with fake blood and toy daggers. Even as a toddler, she was showing signs of the performer she would become. At just 2 years old, Mia made her acting debut in a short film called Unusual Occupations, a small but significant glimpse into the career that would define her life. However, despite her early exposure to the world of film, Mia's childhood wasn't as perfect as it might seem. Behind the scenes, Mia's family life was far from ideal.
Mia had little parenting time left to spend on Moses and Dylan or any of the other kids.
Her father struggled with a serious drinking problem, which led to frequent fights with her mother. These arguments deeply affected Mia, shaping her early thoughts on family dynamics and relationships. Even at a young age, she became aware of the emotional toll that such conflicts could take on a family. This turbulence would leave a lasting impact on her as she grew older. Mia's childhood was also shaped by a strict religious upbringing. Despite living in the glamorous world of Hollywood, her family followed Roman Catholic traditions with unwavering dedication. Mia and her siblings attended Catholic schools in Los Angeles, where they were taught the importance of morality, discipline, and responsibility. These values would later guide Mia in her own life, especially when it came to her decision to help others and adopt children from diverse backgrounds. When Mia was 9 years old, tragedy struck her life. She contracted polio during a major outbreak in Los Angeles, a harrowing experience that would mark her early years. This illness forced Mia to face the harsh realities of life at an early age, further fueling her resilience and shaping the woman she would eventually become. While the illness ravaged her body, it was the separation from her family that left her feeling truly alone, a feeling that would resonate deeply throughout her childhood. A childhood shattered by tragedy. The illness forced her into a lonely 3-week hospital quarantine that would mark one of her childhood's darkest moments, while intense pain gripped her back, neck, and legs, eventually requiring an iron lung to help her breathe.
It was a cesarean, but I lost so much blood.
I hope it's a she. That's the first thing. I mean, that would be very important to me.
The emotional toll of being cut off from her family hit just as hard as the physical symptoms. Alone and scared in her hospital room, young Mia longed for her parents' comfort during what became a defining period of isolation and suffering. The nurses at the hospital were not much help. One nurse even scolded Mia for crying, accusing her of making things harder for everyone. The treatments were harsh, and Mia despised the hot packs used in therapy. Looking back, she later described how the illness made her feel as though her childhood had ended. No longer feeling safe or protected, Mia's world became a much scarier place after that experience, forever altering her sense of security. As if the trauma of polio wasn't enough, when Mia was 13, another tragedy struck her family. Her older brother, Michael, passed away in a plane crash at just 19 years old. Her brother had been a member of the Marine Corps Reserve, and the crash occurred on the 28th of October 1958. The loss was devastating for the Farrow family, particularly for Mia, who had already experienced so much hardship at such a young age. The grief was compounded by the toll it took on her father. Mia's father, already struggling with alcoholism, fell deeper into despair after Michael passed away. This only intensified the violent arguments between Mia's parents, further destabilizing an already fractured family. These painful events shaped Mia's early years, leaving her with a deep sense of loss and a growing awareness of life's harsh realities. Already devastated by the loss of her brother, Mia now had to deal with her family falling apart. How did being separated from them only make her grief worse? From grief to grit. After Michael's funeral, Mia returned to school in Surrey, while her family remained in London for a while before moving to a house in Chelsea. The pain of losing Michael was compounded by the growing tension between her parents, as their fights became more frequent and intense during this difficult period. By 1963, after the passing of her father, Mia's life took another significant turn. She moved to New York City with her mother, marking the beginning of a new chapter. The transition was not easy, but Mia slowly found her footing in the city's vibrant arts scene. She began modeling and acting in theater plays, gradually making her way into the world of acting. The road was far from smooth, though, as Mia faced numerous auditions and rejections, but her determination never wavered. Every setback only fueled her desire to succeed, and even her smallest roles gave her a glimpse of the future she was working toward. Mia's early acting career was a series of tough beginnings, yet each experience strengthened her resolve. Despite not landing major roles right away, she refused to give up. It was this persistence that eventually paid off, allowing her to start carving out her place in Hollywood. In the year 1965, Mia auditioned for the iconic role of Liesl von Trapp in The Sound of Music.
Well, you're such a baby.
I'm 16. What's such a baby about that?
Although she didn't get the part, the screen test itself was an important moment in her career, marking the beginning of her rise in the industry and showing her that she was on the right path. The journey was difficult, but Mia's unwavering perseverance and belief in herself helped her overcome the challenges. Her early experiences, from grief to rejection, shaped her into the resilient woman and actress that the world would eventually come to admire. From rejection to stardom. After missing out on The Sound of Music, Mia found her big break on Peyton Place.
That no one knows about, not even you. It's my secret place.
I know every spot within.
As Allison Mackenzie played a girl next door with hidden layers, viewers quickly fell in love with her take on the character. The show ran from 1964 to 1966, following the drama and secrets of small-town life. It became one of TV's first hit soap operas, drawing millions of viewers each week. Through her honest, relatable performance, Mia turned Allison into someone audiences truly connected with, and proved she had real star power. Despite the challenges of fame, Mia's role in Peyton Place marked a turning point in her career. Her persistence in the face of early rejection paid off, and she soon became one of the most sought-after actresses of her time. While the media's focus on her personal life was often overwhelming, Mia's talent and dedication to her craft continued to shine, paving the way for a lasting career in Hollywood. Despite the overwhelming media attention on her personal life, Mia was ready to take the next step in her career. From TV star to icon. After 2 successful seasons on Peyton Place, Mia Farrow made the bold decision to leave the show in 1966, largely due to her marriage to Frank Sinatra. While leaving the show marked a significant change in her career, it was a step that Mia took to focus on movies, setting the stage for a role that would define her legacy. This new direction led her to a groundbreaking part that would solidify her place in Hollywood history. In 1968, Mia starred in Rosemary's Baby.
We planned to. Oh, it's a wonderful apartment. I love it.
See what she's trying to do? She's trying to get you to lower the rent.
A psychological horror film directed by Roman Polanski. In this chilling movie, Mia plays the role of Rosemary Woodhouse, a pregnant woman who slowly uncovers a dark and terrifying conspiracy surrounding her pregnancy. The film explored themes of trust, fear, and the sinister side of human nature, making it a gripping experience for audiences. Rosemary's Baby was a massive success, grossing over $30 million and receiving widespread critical acclaim, thanks in part to Mia's unforgettable performance.
What have you done to him, you maniac?
Satan is his father, not Guy.
Mia's portrayal of Rosemary was praised for its depth and authenticity, with critics lauding her ability to convey Rosemary's growing fear and confusion. Renowned film critic Roger Ebert called her performance brilliant, and her work in the film changed the way women were depicted in horror films. Rosemary was not just a passive victim, she was a complex, relatable character, which added a new dimension to the genre. Rosemary's Baby not only made Mia Farrow a household name, but also left a lasting cultural impact. The film was recognized for its significance, and in 2014, it was added to the Library of Congress for preservation. Its influence on horror films and its portrayal of strong, multi-dimensional female characters changed the genre forever, and Mia's career would never be the same again. With the immense success of Rosemary's Baby, Mia Farrow's career reached new heights. But what would her next move be? A legendary Hollywood partnership. Mia's star kept rising as she took on more challenging roles, becoming one of Hollywood's most in-demand actresses. Her connection to Woody Allen would shape a huge part of her career. They worked together for over 10 years, with Mia starring in 13 of his films. Their first movie together was 1982's A Midsummer Night's Comedy, where she stepped into a role meant for Diane Keaton. The movie got mixed reviews, but it kicked off their long creative partnership and introduced Mia to Allen's unique brand of comedy. Mia's collaboration with Allen continued to evolve, and in 1983, she starred in Zelig, where she played Dr. Eudora Fletcher, a psychiatrist treating Leonard Zelig, a man who could blend into any crowd. The film was an odd blend of mockumentary and fantasy, and Mia's calm, believable performance grounded the otherwise fantastical story. Critics praised how well Mia worked alongside Allen in bringing this unique concept to life, cementing their creative bond. In 1984, Mia's versatility as an actress was on full display when she took on the role of Tina Vitale in Broadway Danny Rose. In this film, she portrayed a loud and brash gangster's girlfriend, complete with dark sunglasses and a bold personality. This transformation showcased Mia's ability to shift from one character to another, further establishing her as a talented actress capable of playing a wide range of roles. Allen's distinctive style meshed well with Mia's subtle acting approach. In films like Hannah and Her Sisters, Broadway Danny Rose, and The Purple Rose of Cairo, their work together brought out the best in both of them. Allen wrote complex, neurotic characters that played to Mia's strengths, while she brought warmth and depth to his sometimes cold, intellectual stories. Their partnership showed how the right actor-director pairing could create movie magic. What made their collaboration so powerful? Was it the seamless blend of Mia's depth and Allen's complex characters? Or was it the way they pushed each other to new artistic heights? A scandal that shook Hollywood. In August 1992, the entertainment world was rocked by an explosive allegation made by actress Mia Farrow against filmmaker Woody Allen. Farrow accused Allen of physically assaulting their 7-year-old adopted daughter, Dylan Farrow, at their home in Bridgewater, Connecticut. Alan, however, has consistently denied the allegations, maintaining his innocence throughout the years. When the accusations came out, Alan and Farrow's relationship was already falling apart. They had 3 kids, adopted children Dylan and Moses, and their biological son Satchel, now known as Ronan. Then Farrow found out Alan was seeing her adopted daughter, Soon-Yi Previn. Soon-Yi was 21, and in college when Farrow discovered their relationship in late 1991, though they'd been involved for some time before that. Alan claims Farrow made up the accusations to get back at him for being with Soon-Yi. Connecticut authorities investigated, but didn't press charges. Yale New Haven Hospital's Child Protection Clinic looked into it too. They found no signs of abuse and thought Mia might have coached Dylan. The New York Department of Social Services also investigated and could not find proof to back up the claims. The whole situation got very messy, with different groups coming to different conclusions. The case became one of the most contentious and widely discussed in Hollywood, leaving a trail of uncertainty about the truth. Despite the investigations and findings, the public remained divided, with many questioning the motives behind the allegations and others standing firmly behind Mia Farrow's account. The scandal overshadowed both Farrow's and Alan's careers, forever altering their lives and the lives of their children. As the case gained widespread attention, it only deepened the divide between those who supported Mia and those who sided with Alan. Could the truth ever be fully known? Or would the accusations always remain shrouded in doubt? A complex and public relationship. Alan and Farrow's relationship started in 1980 and lasted 12 years. During that time, Mia acted in 13 of his movies. They never moved in together. Mia kept her place on Central Park West, while Woody stayed in his Fifth Avenue apartment. Neither wanted to get married since they'd both been married twice before. So they kept their private lives separate, even while working together all the time. When Farrow and Alan got together, she already had 7 kids, 3 biological children with composer Andre Previn, and 4 adopted from Asia. She then adopted Dylan from Texas in 1985. Though Alan wasn't part of Dylan's adoption, he became very involved in her life once she arrived and spent more time at Farrow's home. He didn't connect much with Farrow's other children, though he was friendly enough with Moses, her adopted son from Korea. Farrow had Alan's son Satchel in December 1987, who later changed his name to Ronan. When Farrow wanted to adopt again in 1991, Alan was not thrilled but made a deal. He would officially adopt Dylan and Moses if Farrow let him be part of their lives. Farrow went ahead and adopted another child from Vietnam, and by December 1991, Alan's adoption of Dylan and Moses was final. As time went on, their relationship became more complicated, filled with both personal conflicts and professional tensions. Despite facing numerous challenges, they remained a steady presence in each other's lives, continuing their collaboration in both their personal and professional worlds. However, the growing issues within their family were beginning to create a sense of unease, and it was clear that things were heading toward a breaking point that would change everything. As their relationship continued, the pressures of personal and professional challenges began to take their toll, slowly exposing the deepening issues within their family. Growing concerns and tensions. Mia Farrow grew worried about Woody Allen's relationship with their daughter Dylan in the late 1980s. During their custody battle, Farrow described several disturbing behaviors in court. She said Allen would spend unusual amounts of time with Dylan and ignored boundaries when asked to give the child space. According to Farrow's testimony, Allen would read to Dylan while dressed only in underwear, encourage her to suck his thumb, and wait for her to wake up. According to Farrow, Allen was obsessive in his pursuit of Dylan's attention. She said it felt like he was trying to court the child. But there's an odd twist. In 1990, Farrow changed her will to give Allen custody of their kids, Dylan, Satchel, and Moses, if she died. Even stranger, she filed legal papers in 1991 that painted a different picture. In those documents, she called Allen a great dad who truly cared for Dylan, and she supported his plan to adopt both Dylan and Moses. She shared her worries with her therapist, too. She was scared Allen might be hurting Satchel, and even wondered if he was having an inappropriate relationship with another man. This made their already tense family situation even worse. The family's psychologist, Dr. Susan Coates, saw how Alan acted with Dylan firsthand. When she testified in 1993, she said that while she didn't see anything unusual, however, Alan's behavior with Dylan was way too intense and kept Dylan cut off from everyone else in the family. Alan claimed he focused so much on Dylan because Farrow was busy with their new baby, Satchel. When reporter Maureen Orth looked into it, she found that Alan had agreed to talk about this in counseling back in 1990. But Dr. Coates set the record straight. Alan was not actually in therapy with her. She only saw him during his kids' therapy sessions. While she thought Alan took his role as a father seriously, Dr. Coates made it clear that he never got therapy for how he allegedly acted with Dylan or any other problems. The case was about to take an unexpected turn as investigators dug deeper into everyone's claims. What then happened next? The investigation unfolds. When Connecticut police talked to Dylan in late 1992, they used dolls to help with their questions. During her last interview on December 30th, Dylan showed the dolls doing intimate things. When they asked how she knew about this, she said she'd seen Alan with Soon-Yi that summer. Dylan told them that fathers shouldn't act like this. They shouldn't be like boyfriends. When this came up during Alan's custody hearing, they had to stop right away to deal with what Dylan had said. During Dylan's meetings with Yale New Haven hospital specialists in the fall of 1992, they explored her understanding of relationships, particularly what it meant to have boyfriends and girlfriends. When asked about these relationships in November, Dylan described them simply as involving hugs. While the court investigation established that Alan and Soon-Yi's relationship had begun in December 1991, Alan pushed back against Dylan's claims, insisting they hadn't started seeing each other until December, and that Dylan couldn't have witnessed anything between them that summer as she had claimed. While the case was ongoing, Alan and Farrow came to an interim agreement. He would hold off on seeing Dylan for a while, and she would get Dylan help from a therapist to work through what had happened. This set things up for the next phase of their legal fight as investigators kept looking into Dylan's claims. Why do you think of the strong allegations against Alan? Do you think the stories against him were fabricated, or there are some truths to them? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.